Yo, wishful thinking is not inherently bad. It can actually be good by motivating you to achieve. But there is something beyond wishful thinking called castles in the air. That is, dreams, hopes, or plans that are impossible, unrealistic, or have very little chance of succeeding. They can be very bad if acted upon or invested in. Here are unusual examples. On Canada's Oak Island in 1795, some imaginative boys started digging for treasure. Others continued digging in the same spot for 150 years, still failing to find anything valuable. Even President Franklin D. Roosevelt and actors Errol Flynn and John Wayne got suckered into investing their time and money into it. Over the years, 6 men died in accidents while digging in that spot, and men spent their life savings on the dig, which in return only yielded trinkets of minor value. Modern excavating equipment was used to dig down deeper than ever. Even today, some believe there is treasure there somewhere and want to continue digging. Yet common sense should have at least told them that if modern equipment could not find anything significant, they should have given up, since whoever would have buried treasure would have done so before the invention of modern equipment, and so would lack the ability to dig that deep. That's besides the fact that common sense should have told them not to invest their lives into a hole that had proven useless for over 200 years. Due to the philosopher Plato's use of allegory, where he mentioned a city he called Atlantis, hundreds of people over the span of over 2,000 years have searched for Atlantis. This has included lawyer and U.S. Congressman Ignatius Donnelly and movie director James Cameron. Some scientists launched major search operations for Atlantis across the globe. Certainly Atlantis was never discovered. Consider that Plato wrote that Atlantis was designed by the god Poseidon and was as big as Libya and Asia Minor combined, yet completely sank into the ocean due to only 24 hours of raining. And Earth's ocean floor has been mapped completely, yet gives no indication of Atlantis. Any one of those 3 factors should have been enough to show that Atlantis was fictional, yet some continue to believe in Atlantis despite all 3 factors and the failure of everyone to find it for 2,300 years. Then we have so-called other kin, people who claim to have been various animals in past lives and animals trapped in human bodies. Notably, they usually identify as cool, popular, regal, and or respected life forms such as dragons, mermaids, wolves, cats, and in one case a palm tree. People identifying as despised or unpopular life forms such as trolls, skunks, rats, worms, or ragweed is unheard of. This fact should make it clear that it is purely wishful thinking. My point is that otherwise sane, highly intelligent, and high-functioning people can become beholden to fantastical forms of wishful thinking, which might seriously harm or hinder them. My other point is that some forms of deluded thinking are held by a large percentage of society or even the majority of people. This likely includes you. Here are some examples. Some people act as if a democratic form of socialism dominated. If it did so, we'd have a utopia. Others act as if a republican form of capitalism dominated. We'd have a utopia. Yet both positions have major problems and continue to cause harm. That's why I advocate third position politics. And I'm not going to. That's no guarantee of anything. I realize. Some hold to the incredibly false idea that gender is just a social construct. And many men have the very false idea that girls and women have sex drives comparable to men's. In consequence, many men get scammed by websites which promise to hook them up with hot women wanting casual sex. Instead, they all just lose their money from the fee and never meet anyone. Some also get reeled in by scammers seeking credit card and or other personal information. Other men proposition allegedly underage cute girls on the internet who agree to meet for sex. Invariably, all the time, it's never a young girl wanting sex. It's often somebody just trolling them. If the men show up at the designated meeting place, it's either some guy seeking to rough them up or rob them, or the police who send them to prison, or these creep catchers, what have you. Many lonely elderly men and women have been fooled by romance scams where someone allegedly over 30 years younger than them shows intense and ongoing interest. Yet time and time again, it's a play-acting scammer who sends someone else's pictures and reads off a script or whatever. I'm reading off a script myself, but I actually wrote my own script, so that's cool. Even though never meeting the person for years and having sent tens of thousands of dollars, the old person continues to hold to the delusion. In fact, even if someone 30 years younger than you actually met you and truly wanted a relationship, they would be a gold digger. Well, 99.999% of the time. Then there's wishful thinking involving distortions of Christianity. For example, some people claim that Christianity teaches that eventually everyone will go to heaven. Others understand that Christianity teaches that most will be lost, but believe that once you're saved, you can never lose your salvation, and or believe that all you need to be saved is belief in Jesus without working at maintaining the Christian life. Instead, these false notions endanger people through promoting overconfidence. And many Christians believe they will go to heaven immediately after they die. If that was true, it would be good to be a murder victim. So it's false. And no, the Bible doesn't teach immediate heaven after death. No, nowhere in this. The religions of Islam and Mormonism postulate that in heaven men will not have intimate communion with God. Instead, they will have many wives and continuously have a celestial sex. To refute these unscriptural ideas, all you must do is think about how unfair it would be to women. Then we have atheists who believe that everything came from nothing. And many people, both religious and non-religious, claim that most people are good, nice, and trustworthy. Since that is completely false, many of them suffer for it. The solution should be to do your best to analyze and deeply think through whatever plans or ideas you may have. Run them past others if necessary. Be willing to debate your ideas in impartial fashion. Learn to be completely honest. Now, is all fanciful thinking inherently bad? I would say no, as long as you take everything into consideration. Quoting Victor Hugo, if you don't build castles in the air, you won't build anything on the ground. Quoting Henry David Thoreau, if you have built castles in the air, your work need not be lost. That is where they should be. Now put foundations under them.